This episode of the Young and Pruitt podcast is brought to you by Carpy's Custom Screen Printing. For all your screen printing needs, race team shirts, event shirts, hats. If you have the design that you want, they can do it. If you need them to create a design for you, they can do it. They also do stickers, decals, RC car wraps. These guys are really big in the RC car world. You can find them at Carpys_co on Twitter, at Carpys on Instagram, www.carpys.com, CARPYS. Be sure to let them know that you heard about them on the podcast. Also, be sure to head over to youngandpruitt.com. Every previous episode is on the website. Be sure to check out Layla's blog. Be sure to sign up for the fan forum, create a membership, and join the discussion at youngandpruitt.com. We're back. David's back.
Episode 30, baby.
Yeah, he had to take his final again, so he's back.
Not doctorate.
It's getting pretty close.
It's
dude.
getting pretty close.
Like you've
been in school for
graduated like 4 times or something like that, but you keep like going back and hey, I got to take a final again. Today
was a midterm.
Midterms, finals.
Well, honestly, it was one of the worst 120-minute periods of my entire life, and I'd like to forget about it. Which leads me to my next point. This will be my first podcast thus far drinking alcohol. So tonight's whiskey selection is Jack Daniels because that's the first option Zach gave me. Yeah. More importantly, we have one of my personal friends and former teammates.
Yes, we do, a.k.a. Bulldog. It's Dustin Onufrak? Onufrak? Okay, yeah. We'll just call you Dustin.
We'll just call him Bulldog.
Yeah, we'll just call him Bulldog.
Either way.
So You're kind of a pretty popular person in the garage. Like everyone seems to love you pretty good.
Yeah, I've been around for several years and always been out hanging out with everybody and partying. It's how you not fit in, but like how you get to know people.
Oh yeah. You definitely. That's the big part is you got to do all the social events and it's who you know. Like it's really the only way to continue to like move up and pass around and all that other stuff. But whereabouts are you from?
Right outside Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, wow. Motor City guy.
Yes.
So that just going ahead and gets over why you got into racing, man, being up there.
Yeah, I didn't want to work on street cars when I was 17. So after I graduated high school, I moved down here.
Yeah.
And I moved to Hickory and went to the Bobby Isaac Motorsports program they had at Catawba Community College in Hickory.
Nice.
Like you said, it's people, how you know people, and I met a guy, was friends with the teacher, and that's how it started from there.
Did you do any racing back home?
No.
Nothing at all?
Like, we drag raced, but that's it.
Yeah, I was a drag racer when I started to get in. David was telling me you worked for DEI, MWR, Turner, so you've been around for what year did you move down here?
I moved here in 2003, and then started working in racing beginning of 2004.
Yeah. What was your job?
I started working for a nationwide team, a Start and Park nationwide team, and I just basically worked in the shop cleaning parts, cleaning cars, and then you can only go to 5 or 6 races without a license. So I went to a handful of races that were nearby, and then started working for another small nationwide team in the middle of 2004.
Mm-hmm. What were they having you do at the racetrack?
Spring changes and
just all hands on deck type stuff?
Yeah, all hands on deck. I mean, there was only like 5 of us that went, including the truck driver and the crew chief.
How'd you get into DEI?
Through one of my first buddies when I was down here starting racing. His dad worked at DEI. His best friend's dad worked at DEI. So I was out on my buddy's boat, and the following Thursday, I'd met his dad at the house, and then the following Thursday we were in Memphis, and he asked me if I wanted a job.
So that goes back to exactly what we were talking about. It's all who you know.
Yeah.
My daughter even, she goes, "You know a lot of people." I'm like, "Well, I mean, kinda, but it's such a tight knit group. Like everything in racing, like everyone travels at the same time. All your people, like you're with them more than you're with your own family.
Yeah.
You know, it's the traveling event.
Team plane atmosphere too.
Yeah.
Some of those flights are pretty long.
Mm-hmm. What car was you on at DEI?
We did it was part-time Menard's car. The first year he went cup racing, we ran 12 nationwide races. And then in 2008, we did the 3 K&N cars. Well, it was Camping World East back then, but we did those cars with Jeffrey Earnhardt, Trevor Bayne, and Jesus Hernandez.
Was that the year that Menard won Milwaukee? Or one of those?
No, that was the year after.
The year after?
Or the year before.
The year before he won Milwaukee, yeah. I knew that he was doing pretty good in those old cars.
Yeah.
There for a while. And then, like, right after that, they switched to the COT, like, to, 05 is when they...
07. You had that weird mixture year.
Yeah, 07 was the weird mixture year. And then 08 was the first full
COT.
Yeah.
That's when we had that Kyle Busch went out and won in the first COT race and then immediately said it sucked on television.
Dogged it. Hey, so what'd you think of the new car? It sucks.
But that's one of those things, people don't like changes. So
yeah,
and that was a huge change from the old car to the new car.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what stems with a lot of that's going on in the series right now, is all the change. You know, even down to drivers retiring and now sponsors going away. Lowe's is going away.
Yeah, that was announced not just a few hours ago.
Yeah, so everyone was all happy that Busch is coming back and is going to be the official beer of NASCAR. It's going to be the Busch Pole again. And then dynamite gets dropped on us that Lowe's is leaving after what?
It's definitely into 3 decades because you had the Brett Medallion deal way back when, like 95.
Oh, yeah. So I guess it's just, the Lowe's with Jimmy's.
Thanks to Ian Moy for the historical facts there.
Yeah.
And then you had, it was on the 31 car with Mike Skinner at RCR. Lowe's Motor Speedway, you had their racetrack sponsorship. Mm-hmm. And then Jimmy, I think, started driving that car in 2004.
That sounds about right because it was the old car.
And I think the worst part about it is like that's one of your last like full ride, like it's always a Lowe's car deal.
Yeah, I think, but we brought that up before. I think there's more than what we thought there was. I think
FedEx is close.
FedEx, Dow.
Dow's on a lot.
Pennzoil, Miller, Kroger. Lowe's still counts.
You know, you got a lot of people piecemealing stuff, but you know,
Eris.
There's a handful of sponsors out there that are majority of the year, 20 plus races.
Well, they were just showing like the comparison from 2001 until now, like how many sponsors are still in from then, and it's like 15. But it's so crazy because like you look back on it, and when you look at that entry sheet from the 2001 Daytona 500, like all the sponsors are household names.
Oh yeah.
Like all the way down. Like you're not seeing like any like off the wall, like what do they do?
Well, you can afford it. They can afford it. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Mm-hmm. We're finally getting to the age where Apple and Amazon are knocking on the door of being the first trillion-dollar company.
Yeah. That's what they've said before. It's like, what new big sponsors come in when the biggest are already sponsoring everybody, and then now the biggest are leaving. Target left last year, and now Lowe's is leaving this year. And Target, it's not like Target left a bad car.
No.
Fucking Larson, like he's gonna win a championship. Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's a household name now. Like
what else are they getting out of it?
Yeah, it's tough out there for anybody.
Yeah, because they brought up cost versus ROI rate, or what's it, rate of
return on investment.
Yes. Return on investment. So if Lowe's isn't getting a return on investment of a 7-time champion,
Jimmy John's will be leaving too. That's unannounced, but that's under the radar, and they've been with Harvick for a long time.
Yeah, and he just won
3 in a row in the Jimmy John's car.
3 in a row, yeah, and he's probably going to win the 4th one.
Yeah.
So Jesus, like they've had some speed in that car, big time. I mean, they probably wasn't going to win until the pit crews messed up on the Gibbs cars. That kind of gave him the opening there. But he's been hurting on everything, and with the back window stuff and all that. Like, yeah, he hit the window, but it's Phoenix. The average speed's 135 miles an hour. The average speed at Vegas and Atlanta is 195 miles an hour. So
I have a theory on that window deal, and this goes back to there was a cat in dirt racing. His name's Kevin Remley, and he invented this thing called the device, which was in the rear suspension of the car, and he put a bunch of like just useless non-functional bars attached to it, so people would just see it and get distracted and not realize what was really doing the mechanical stuff back there. What if they just had a really pronounced rear window mod that distracted you from the other shit that's actually making him win the race?
Well, yeah, he also got busted for the steel side skirt. It's supposed to be aluminum, not steel, or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was titanium.
Yeah, titanium.
It's supposed to be aluminum, isn't it?
It was titanium, so that didn't win him the race.
Right.
Did you listen to the Timmy podcast?
I did.
Okay, I was just making sure.
That was the best one.
Because he had it down to pretty much what was the deal. Like, he agrees that the brace broke, but it was just supposed to give just a little. And it gave too much to where anyone with two eyes, a TV, and the ability to ask questions could see plain as day. Woo, that's not supposed to be there. And not just the people on TV, all the other competitors were the ones to see it too, because they were radio chit-chatting. So if he hadn't been busted with it, you'd have seen everybody with that. Like all of a sudden one day, all the cars didn't have that dog leg in them going down the front stretch at Pocono. Like, it took a while. Everyone started to notice, and then all of a sudden everyone was doing it, and that's when everyone caught on and started seeing it.
You can't really do that rear window mod to a truck, can you?
No, you can't.
There's nothing to play with there. It's flat down.
Yeah.
How was your first Truck Series win?
It was fun. That's first win in top 3 series.
Yeah?
I have probably 15 wins in K&N, but it was fun.
Couple rings.
Where you at currently?
HRE, the 16 truck.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that was a good one.
Yeah, we got a kid driving the truck that's just not that he doesn't care. He's gonna drive it to every ability he can drive it, and I wouldn't give him a shot to win a race with 3 to go on a restart.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good. And then you had, was it Myatt, stayed out, didn't have tires, right? And he clogged up.
Didn't block low.
Yeah, he clogged up the bottom line or something like that.
Yeah.
And then your guy was able to.
Yeah, we dropped down and passed him, but not saying it was. I think we dropped down a little early, but
hey,
they didn't call it. So
hey,
but yeah, I mean, we got the built motor versus a lot of them trucks have the spec motor, and we got about a lap to make something happen before they will catch us. Like, because we're better, we're just a little bit better on a restart. And if they're single file, they'll be on our bumper before turn 3. But like in Vegas, they decided that they would run 2 wide, 4 rows deep. And that's not a benefit for them, but it was for us. So
you almost had that one
for Vegas.
Yeah. It kind of looked like it was going to cycle that way.
Yeah, I was.
I can edit
That's
that
the
out.
second quarter light.
I really thought we had the Vegas win. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to leave Vegas after we win 2 in a row. But it happens. Like, I'm grateful we got the Atlanta win, and we finished 3rd in Vegas. So,
and it's a single truck. It's a smaller race team.
Right.
I mean, you're going against some very good trucks. You're going against the KBMs of the world, the Thor Sports of the world.
Yeah.
You know,
we have 8 trucks, but you have to have your dirt truck, you have to have your speedway truck, and you got to have your road course truck. So that leaves us with 2.5-mile trucks, truck that's wrecked currently, and then we built one brand new short track truck this year that we're taking to Martinsville.
So what do you think? Is it just a combination of people, driver? How are you guys able to stay competitive against, say, a KBM and those other bigger teams that have all the resources?
You got to have the right people in place. You can go outrun anybody if you have the right people. And I think we have a really good group of guys that are focused on the truck winning and being prepared when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were in Atlanta and we had 2 1-hour practices, and like, it's all fine-tuned stuff on the truck. It's not, because you show up so prepared, it's all fine-tuning when you get there.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier. You're not doing wholesale changes to it, to where you're like, to where you're just making changes just to basically waste time. Well, let's see what happens if it does this. Let's see what happens if it does that. And at the end of the day, you just put everything back, and then you have what you had before. So it makes it very easy, and like you can kind of sense it also. Like like we got some good stuff. We're not.
Yeah, which I mean, we do have really good bodies. We have KBM chassis. We got Gibbs motors. Like, we got all the key ingredients.
Yeah, so you guys are getting some pretty good parts.
So we get a little help from TRD. I don't know how much help we get, but we do get support from them. But that's also one of those, you got to have the key people. And
yeah, that's not to take anything away from RTJ. I call him RTJ, Ryan Truex.
Yeah.
So, but we add the junior because that's like you know the deal.
Yeah.
But it was the bad luck that you guys had last year that really is like, that was your biggest opponent, your biggest enemy that you guys had, was just the sheer bad luck. The blown motors, getting caught up in other people's shit. Like, I was watching it last year, because he was on that deal too. And you'd be watching it and he'd be marching to the front, 30 to go, and poof. It's like,
Probably
God.
should have won Iowa last year.
we should have won Iowa, and we blew up, and that was the saddest day in a long, like,
That sucked.
because you don't ever think you have a race won, but I was like, we have this race won. Like, all we got to do is finish it, and we have it won, and we broke a lifter. So,
But that's usually what they say about engines. They run the best they've ever had right before they blow up.
We think that was our prettiest truck too. It was the best fire suit I ever designed, for sure.
You were designing fire suits?
Yeah.
Nice.
I had him looking fresh.
Oh, just for Ryan, not
Yeah.
for the.
what truck was that?
That was the Albertsons truck.
Oh, yes.
That was a good one. The HEB truck I was also pretty fond of at Texas.
Do you think I was ever going to get a cup race?
I think that's really going to come down to ISC giving up something else somewhere else.
Yeah, because it's NASCAR that owns that one, right?
Correct. ISC is the same France family
Oh, I thought it was.
that owns NASCAR.
I thought it was separated one more again. I thought it was like legitimately like only. It wasn't ISC. It was like legit, just the Frances or something weird like that. It was like not exactly.
Yeah, that's
in
an
with the-
ISC track.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it
Now
was.
you have independent ones like Dover and Pocono and stuff, but
Yeah,
They deserve a cup race.
they do.
Like, the fans that come out to those races, like, because they run the K&N race, when we used to do that on Friday night and then the nationwide race Saturday night, and we would get, great crowds there.
Mm-hmm.
And as much they put into that place, it needs one.
Even if they just did like the All Star or something,
Yeah, something
know,
changed. I mean,
just do one off.
Iowa has good race fans. I
Yeah.
mean, they're out in droves. I mean, hell, not 30, 45 minutes from there, you got Knoxville, the big sprint car track
Mm-hmm.
that draws like crazy crowds and car counts.
Yeah, I think it'd be great because there's really not, other than Chicago. Would be the closest one on the series. I mean, it's great. It's usually really hot when we go. 'Cause
Yeah.
Because if you know anything about cornfields, the further you get out in that cornfield, the higher the temperature goes.
Oh, yeah.
It's right in the middle of a cornfield. And like I haven't been there the past couple of years. I know that one hotel that sat empty there for a while, that one that's right there in front of the racetrack, that's back up working.
That's back up and running. The gas station is back up and running now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so it's like the infrastructure's a little but if they made some campgrounds for it, I think they could pull it off.
There's a really big campground on the other side of the interstate.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like if you're going back towards Des Moines, there's a big campground, and it's always full of campers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good. I think we need another short track for sure. I think the cookie cutters are a little too numerous. Yeah. Like even if you don't even have to take away a track altogether, just get one that's got 2. Take a date away and then just fight it out. I think that would be good. And it would be a unknown. But to try to fit into the schedule, you'd have to take one away from someone else. And then weather-wise, because it gets cold as shit in the wintertime up there, and it gets hot as hell in the summer. So if it's in the summer, it's definitely got to be a night race. I think it'd be good.
I would like to see them alternate some races in and out. You know what I mean? Like have an Iowa one year and go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of going to we go to Vegas twice. That's a lot for the truck series to go to Vegas.
Did you see that place though? That place is sold out. There wasn't an empty seat in that place.
Yeah, but when we go there in the fall.
Yeah.
And but even if the Cup cars went to Chicago once, Iowa, and then next year they went, you know what I mean? Alternate somewhere. You're going to get your races, but just break it up a little bit.
Yeah, the only problem that I see with that is from a marketing standpoint. Like, you can't guarantee your sponsors. That's why they always try to lock them in as early as they can, so then the tracks have time to fight for sponsorship. And
I was in favor of doing a what they call a legacy track in the Chase.
Yeah,
where you rehabilitate like a North Wilkesboro or Rockingham or something like that. Gosh. And just give them a date. But I mean, you know, give them a truck series, a K&N, and an Xfinity race. But just rotate a legacy track inside of the Chase.
Yeah, Wilkesboro's like our Elvis. It's like I wish. It's like it's everybody gone. Wishes. It's back. Everyone wishes that it would come back, but it's.
I just don't get it. I mean, you got hotel infrastructure and shit to do in Boone. Mm-hmm. You got stuff to do in Winston-Salem. Mm-hmm. You got infrastructure everywhere. You could broker deals to have giant tour buses bring people in. And you got all these craft breweries. You could have beer served on the stuff and have it free to race fans that want to stay in Boone and Winston. I mean, there you could get really creative there and turn that into a complete VIP fan experience that just comes with your ticket, and just blow it out of the water.
So, what's your specialty now?
Suspension.
Suspension stuff?
Yeah, I do the front and rear suspension on the truck.
Yeah. Do you like doing that stuff?
Yeah, I do. It's always, you're always learning. You're always focused. It's not you just bolt it on and walk away. Everything's precise. Mm-hmm. Measuring, just making spacers. You know.
Yeah, even down to which way the helix is turned in the spring and stuff makes a big difference.
Yeah, I don't mess a whole lot with that stuff. Just because. There's other guys that have bigger. They get paid more to do that. So
yeah, but it's weird, how turned 180 in a helix or something like that was the one.
I mean, just moving it 5 degrees is huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what I'm talking about, it's the puck that the spring sits in, and it's kind of has a reverse coil to it, because you know how the end of the spring, the coil ends.
Yeah.
So you have that space. So that puck takes up the space and it sets in there. So now you can, what he was saying, depending on where you put the end of that spring makes a huge difference. What can the difference be? So say if you were to turn it a couple degrees, what would? It
changes where the spring touches each other. So it changes the spring rate and then the travel of the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you change it just a little bit, you can take it from 1.5 inch travel to 1 inch, 3/8. Like, they do it in decimals. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
you could do 1.5 and change it, and it'll be 1.34 travel.
So you can tighten and loosen the truck just by...
Yeah. Well, not tighten, loosen the truck. Travel the right.
Oh,
travel it
Yeah, got it.
thousands difference by moving it, putting different shims.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and you can actually change that helix out and to go to a completely different one if you want to, and it's just...
there's hundreds of helixes. Like, it's just not one, and you move it around. There's, from 0 degrees to 20 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have angle shims from 0 to 10. Like, it's a science project.
Got to know your geometry.
Yeah.
I remember the engineer on the Xfinity team for Dakota Armstrong, his name was Roger.
Yeah?
He always loved to mess with the helix.
Yeah?
He would get out there and just crunch numbers.
Oh, I got it again. He keeps bumping the screen here.
Well, I gotta have it so close in the bottles.
Yeah, I know. It's your first time. It's okay. But yeah, that we got to talking about how Tim on the last episode here, like how everything can be changed and be specific to the driver. It's not just like, everyone says that all these cars are the same. They're not, because all these little things, just like even down to what the spring sets in and which direction it's turned, could be different. A driver might not like it. It could hurt him. It could help him. But it's just all these little adjustments inside the box, the quote, quote, box that we're in. Like, you can, X, Y, Z, you got all these different planes, turning the tire this way, that way. It's, they're not the same at all.
Every driver is different. No matter if they're 10 years old to 50 years old. Mm-hmm. They have their style, and that's how they want to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's...
So they just busted Chase Elliott for it was a truck arm, the mount. You got it? See if you can pull it up there.
Pull up the
screenshot that I had. I sent to you. Have you saved it?
All right, Chase Elliott of Hendrick Motorsports had a L1 violation. Alan Gustafson got a $50,000 fine, suspended car chief 2 races, docked Elliott 25 points and 25 team owner points.
Yeah, which is just
they aren't playing around.
That's it. Well, it was a standard L1.
Yeah. NASCAR stated the team's truck trailing arm spacer / pinion angle shim mounting surfaces must be planar and in complete contact with corresponding mating surfaces at all points at all times, and that was not the case.
So can you describe that to the layman, what was going on there?
Yeah, it's basically 2 pieces of material that have to touch flat. It's I think the truck arm pad on the rear end housing is 5 inches long, and it's got to touch the trailing arm all 5 inches. It can't have any rock to it.
So what's the benefit to having rock to it?
Forward drive.
There you go.
There you go.
I love that. That was exactly as simple as we wanted.
Simple as we could get. Forward drive. So, okay, why?
Why do you...
No, not why do you want it. Why does that help the forward drive?
It lets it's like you were saying, geometry stuff. It lets the rear end rotate, and it's like magic. Like, I don't know the right terminology to use.
Yeah.
But it's magic. Like, that's why people do it. Like, if I learned about it 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we were doing it, and it's...
Now, is that the thing where they were rocking the cars back and forth?
No, that was a totally different... That was with the track bar.
Oh, that was with the track bar? Got it.
So what was that all about?
The more skew you get into it, the more side force you have.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just one of those things where they designed a deal, and when it rocked over, it skewed it more because you got to go through the lasers, and you can't cheat a laser.
No.
So you go through it locked in, and you're straight up, you're good to go, and you wiggle the car and unlock it and get the right side
Out into the air.
out in the air.
Yeah, which we talked about that on the last podcast. You missed a
Yeah.
hell of a podcast last weekend.
I know. After I listened to it, I was like, damn it, this is not the one
Yeah,
to be
Timmy was
out conducting business.
like, oh my God. Mr. Tim Petchek, he will take you down a rabbit hole and just like the stuff that he comes up with and knows, it blows my mind. Like I don't know if you've listened to any of it, but he was at Evernham when Dodge came back. And he was involved with designing the nose and getting the bodies built and doing that whole stuff. And then he worked at DI probably around the same time you were there. I think so. Right? That would have been around the same, maybe a little bit sooner. He was there because then he went to Hendrick. His DEI, Evernham, Hendrick,
Roush Petty.
yeah. So, but he knows his stuff. You worked for MWR. Is that where you started doing the suspension stuff at, or?
Sort of. Like even when we did the Bush cars and stuff at DEI, like I was a suspension guy assistant.
Mhm.
Like there's a front guy and a rear guy, but I helped them both. And then the second year I was there, the front suspension guy went to go work at the cup shop. So then they just moved me doing rear suspension and moved the guy that was doing the rear suspension to front suspension.
Nice.
So, and then when we worked at Waltrips, we did Brian Truex's K&N car,
Mm-hmm.
and we were really spoiled there. They did a lot for us. Like their suspension guys built our stuff. We put it on, and then we were there 4 years. Not with Ryan. We did 2 years with Ryan.
Mhm.
But after the second year, we kind of started doing more and more of our stuff. Because, I mean, those guys were so swamped with their own work.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of, when we had time, we went in, used their stuff, and come back out.
So this is always a good question when people come into the haulers. Usually, as you walk down a race hauler, there's a whole bunch of cabinets, obviously, and there's a whole bunch of parts. Well, there's a certain cabinet that's just springs. So, like, how many springs would you normally see on a hauler?
I bet you got 20 rear springs, and depending on where you're at, you got 10 to 15 front springs on there.
You're not going to go through them all, right?
No. When you go on the pull down, you have your set springs. Your options,
Mm-hmm.
and then those are in the front of the cabinet, so you can just go grab it and go. But you carry them all because you never know.
The shop has a whole bunch of them too.
Yeah,
Everything's all backlogged and
yeah.
stuff like that.
We have a whole spring shelf.
Yeah, it's like it looks weird to see it. It's like, holy shit, like it's a
Yeah.
bunch of springs.
Because, like, when you go road course racing, you want the same height right and left springs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your whole road course springs, and you have your Daytona. They give you your own rear springs, but, well, you buy them, but you just stockpile those for years because they're not worth anything. So you just keep them on the shelf.
So speaking of the road course stuff, did you do the test at the Roval?
No.
No.
Trucks don't get to go there, so
Oh, wait, they're not?
no.
Xfinity and Cup.
Just Xfinity and Cup.
I thought the trucks were going around I thought they tested that.
Nope.
Damn, I was wrong. I
That
really had my hopes up for that. I thought the trucks
that
were
would have
going to
been
run
the
it.
best one of the year.
I thought the trucks were going to run that. Yeah, because that's right. Because the trucks are there in the spring, right before the All-Star.
All-Stars.
Yeah, that's right. Damn it. All right. Well, if you're listening, you need to get those trucks on the Roval because that'll be crazy. But was it Mosport? You guys?
Mossport.
Yeah, you guys still go to. So that's always a good one. That always ends. Well, hell, they were in the grass there a year or two ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, and then Cindric dumped Gralla for his win last year. So it's pretty.
And the year before, was it Max Pappas got the taste slapped out of his mouth? Was it 2 years ago or 4 years ago?
With him and
Homeboy's wife. She
Yeah.
slapped him.
Yeah.
She said, "Bah!" Put him in his place.
Yeah.
That was
I think Ryan left there last year, didn't he?
I don't know. We run pretty good there. I think we run second for a while. I don't think we led any laps. But it's a unique place to get to up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is in the middle of nowhere.
Now, being from Detroit, did you ever get to go over there?
No.
No?
I went to Toronto Zoo once.
Yeah, there was that, and then the Silver Dome was always a big motocross thing up there.
Yeah.
They had a big one up there, and then they just tore down the Silver Dome not too long ago.
What was your favorite animal at the zoo?
I was probably 10 when I went there.
Okay, if you went to the zoo today, what do you think your favorite animal would be?
I don't even know what animals are at the zoo.
Not bulldogs.
Not bulldogs. Fair. Fair.
Like, we used to go, my dad's buddy, well, his owner of the dealership he worked for, his son, raced a dirt street stock in Canada.
Really?
Yeah, so we used to go over there and watch him like 2 or 3 times a year, but I didn't know anything about racing.
What made you decide to get into racing? Like, what was your, like, aha moment? What was your drive?
My dad worked at a dealership for 17 years.
What brand?
Jefferson Chevrolet.
Oh.
Right on the river in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I knew, like, he was miserable working at the dealership. And then he left there, started his own business. Well, he took over a business and ran that for several years. And I worked there. My neighbor got me a job at a dealership, and it just wasn't me. Like, you don't have a salary, so the more work you do, the more you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weeks you're slow, which has no effect on you, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't that cool.
Yeah, you do that flat rate stuff. It's good when it's good, and it's bad when it's bad.
Yeah, and so we come down to Charlotte a bunch and watch the races in Charlotte because my aunt lived in Hickory.
Oh, got it.
So I was always interested in it, and they had that school that was 20 minutes from her house, so I was young and just decided to do it.
Yeah, that was kind of my deal. I went to Wyotech, and there's 3. Keep it tallies. Yeah,
At this point, we can't edit it out.
no, we can't.
It's just there now.
Yeah, so disregard all my comments before. So now, if you're still listening to this point, you got a little chuckle. But yeah, I went to Wyotech, automotive, high performance engine and chassis fabrication. It was 6 months of automotive, 3 months of high performance engines and chassis fabrication. And about 3 months through automotive, I figured out that, yeah, I don't want to work on passenger cars. That's not going to be my thing. And then I started to really look into the racing side. And I was a drag racer too. You know, everything was all bracket racing and drag racing. I come from Indiana, so it's all the U.S. Nationals.
Yes.
So that was real big for me. But at the time, this was 2005, 2006, NASCAR was at its peak. You know, I mean, you were in it. You know, I was just watching it on TV. The first race I actually went to was Michigan.
Yeah.
When Jeremy Mayfield won. So that's kind of a little fun fact. He won off of gas mileage. Junior was getting ready to win, and then he ran out of gas. So that
it's funny because, like, you say Michigan, like, I hadn't I've been down here for so long, I haven't been to that speedway for years.
Really?
And we flew in last year, and I drive the van every week, and we got going down the road, and, like, everybody, you got to stop for breakfast. I think we flew out at 6:30 in the morning, 7. So you don't get time to eat before you get on the plane.
Yeah.
Unless you get up really early. And, we stopped at the McDonald's, we used to go there as a kid to watch qualifying because you got free tickets from Myers. That was when Myers sponsored the racetrack. So you got free tickets, and that and Kroger was the only grocery store growing up. And stopped at the same McDonald's we always stopped at. It was kind of like going home. I knew exactly where
you were.
Yeah, and we did one nationwide race there. That's the only time I've ever been in the infield.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Quick question: what's with the cop car lights? They just got that one big light on top of it. It's that big ginormous dome cop car light.
That's a state trooper.
It's 2018, man. We're doing what is it? What was that show? Damn it. Mayberry. Come on.
The Griffith.
Andy Griffith.
Yes, Andy Griffith show. That's that type of stuff. That's 50 stuff.
Yeah, it's always been that. And when that thing's going off, you're in trouble. I don't care what you've done, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if straight trooper's pulling you over, you probably deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's always the sight when you go up there because they got those bright blue cars.
Yep.
And then that big amber light that looks like it could have like a jar with a head in it. It's huge light. It was one of those big single lights. And you think that by now, I get it with the tradition and Mount Me hats and stuff like that, but that's one thing that always sticks out. And there's a McDonald's on every corner, which is funny that you said about going to McDonald's. There's McDonald's everywhere up there.
The grid system.
Yeah, they definitely have it covered up there.
That was the biggest change from up there to down here.
Mm-hmm.
Down here, you get on a road, you don't know where you're going to end up. Up there, where you're going to, this road's going to take me right here. If not, I'll get on it, but that's the difference from up north to down here.
Yeah.
See, that's I'm from here, so that's what I grew up with. So when I started traveling and seeing all these places, it was just kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, I never even knew what Bojangles was until I came down here.
God, I love Bojangles.
I never knew what it was. Didn't even Bojangles. I'm like, that sounds silly.
It's a great hangover cure.
Oh, it's the best,
dude. It's so salty. It's spicy to me.
I mean,
there's so much salt in those breakfast sandwiches. It burns my tongue.
You can't eat the top of the biscuit.
It's true.
You can't eat the top of the biscuit.
You got to deal with open faced.
It's like a thing.
It's funny he says that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, if
it's not just me, that makes me feel really good that it's not just me.
Just cover me in Cajun filet biscuits, my life.
Yes, now the chicken's great, but there's just something, and I guess it's okay. So take the top biscuit off.
Yeah, but they mess you up on the chicken and cheese Cajun biscuit because that's on the top. So you gotta break half of the top.
I get the Cajun filet added with egg and cheese on top of it.
I've not eaten an egg since I was 5. So
what? Hold on. What happened? Did a baby chicken come out? What stopped you from?
I ate a lot of eggs on Easter and threw them up and.
Oh, it's one of those things.
I did the same thing with Goldschlager.
But
I won't touch that shit. I don't want to smell it.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Aftershock.
Oh God, yes. Equally as awful.
Yeah, the old cinnamon stuff.
I don't know what it. I mean, like you guys said, I've thrown up on Jack Daniels, thrown up on beer, thrown up on wine. I drink it all day. Eggs, I can't stand the smell of them, the look of them.
Really?
Wow.
Nothing.
Nothing about eggs.
Not scrambled, not hard. Well, obviously not hard boiled, but wow, that's a first.
I had the same experience with pickles. When I was younger.
Fuck pickles. I'll
What?
say it. Yeah. Yeah.
I've grown to
The devil's food.
liking pickles.
Uh-huh.
You sick
Like I can't take a pickle out of a jar and eat it.
Oh yeah, I can. I did that today.
But like if something's got pickles on it, I can eat it
You're all
and be
insane.
fine. But I can't take a pickle and eat it.
I drink the juice.
I have literally went to Chick-fil-A and said, number one, no motherfucking pickles. And then I felt like an asshole because they're always so pleasant.
Well, yeah, it's
Did you
God's
know
place, man. Come on.
at Chick-fil-A when you get hired, like there's a list of things that you have to be? It's super hard to get hired at Chick-fil-A.
Really?
I couldn't go there and get hired.
I hear it's the same thing about In-N-Out also. Like you got to have like a serious GPA to like.
Yeah, like you have to be like polite. Like there's a lot. Like we were talking to a lady at Chick-fil-A in Dover because you go to the one in Dover right outside the racetrack,
Mhm.
and they are it's so polite that it's freaky.
What do you people want from me?
Was it Pleasantville? Was that movie?
Oh, yeah. That's a fantastic
Right.
classic.
And I love Chick-fil-A, and I think more restaurants were like that.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be more
They
enjoyable
definitely
to go
have the
places.
standard, and then they just got that one bad thing. They're not open on Sunday. Like, but I get it. But man,
That's the only day I ever want it.
exactly. Yeah, you wake up at like noon on Sunday, like, oh man,
I'm a Chick-fil-A fiend.
give me some Chick-fil-A.
The problem with the Chick-fil-A in Mooresville is a clusterfuck from 11 to like 3.
Bro, I say all the time, they could turn that Hardee's across the street into a Chick-fil-A, and it would still be just as packed.
Yeah.
But what Chick-fil-A is not like that?
Also a very good point.
Yeah, they are
Like-
slam packed.
If I leave my shop at 11:27, I can get Chick-fil-A. I leave at 11:30. There's no possible way you're getting Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, because you guys are right there in the park, right?
Yeah.
And the way that you got to get in, you got to go past the Chick-fil-A over to like where you're going into those race shops around the pond.
Past the hotel.
Yeah, and then
come
you
up the backside.
Come up the backside. It's so crazy. Like, it's the hardest drive-through to ever get into, but no one has a problem getting into it. Like everyone's fit. Like we're figuring this out. Like how do you get in there?
Those Mooresville soccer moms will rage on your shit too. Like not even a little bit.
The one thing that I like is because since we switched to the keto diet, they have the grilled chicken nuggets. So it seems to be like the only really fast food stuff minus the bread. But we did see that Five Guys has a burger in a bowl, burger in a box, burger in a bowl. So it's just one of those foil like little
You can
trays.
get to In-N-Out this weekend and get one of those. What is it? Protein style.
Yeah, but
The lettuce.
but I consider In-N-Out a cheat meal. So I had it last weekend.
Okay.
Killed it. They how we were talking about how good their service was. They actually messed up my order. Do I look like a guy that's going to order a single burger?
Never.
I got a single burger, but I wasn't going to complain because I just got off the plane and I was very hungry.
And there's a million people there.
Oh God, yeah,
Always.
that place is so packed. Yeah, it's just like Chick-fil-A out here.
The first time I had In-N-Out was 2005. That was my first plane flight ever. I was like 20, going on 21. And that was back when you could, order like a 5x5 or like a 9x9.
You still can.
You really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You still can. Because we were at the Grand Am race at Laguna Seca, 2013, and we went into a In-N-Out out there, and he got a 4x4, I think, 4x4 or 5x5 or something like that. One of the other picture members, just to do it like it looked.
I want that right now.
But then you always get the one guy that says that Five Guys is better than.
Get the fuck out. Five Guys is good. I just don't like to mortgage my meals. Five Guys be on that bullshit, man. They're proud.
Well, they got to pay 5 of them, bud.
Well, that's a good point.
I'm not a fan of either one, so
No.
no.
I mean, I'm loyal to Cookout. If somebody
Cookout
says
is-
In-N-Out is the best, I will tell them to their face, Cookout dominates.
Bro, you can get corn dogs as a side.
Right.
I mean, come on.
You're eating good for less than $5.
Yeah, it is dirt cheap and it is very good.
you can get a milkshake and it's like $6. I mean, who doesn't want a milkshake with their dinner?
Yeah. It's incredible.
But I always know the corn dogs as a side dish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's my typical go-to. Like, Cookout is, like, fresh. Like, all their stuff's fresh. They have, like, area. Like, so the one in Kernersville is a pretty, like, long, bigger Cookout. And that's because the back half of it is the butcher shop. And they literally butcher all the meat fresh and then put it on the truck, and it distributes to the local area cookouts, and they all have that same system. So like what you get has been like prepped and like sent there that day. Nothing's frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Cookout's next level.
Today.
Because I know that there's no inside seating. Everything's either walk
Some
up.
of them do.
Really?
So
one in Huntersville
Salisbury,
does.
Huntersville's another one. Kernersville, High Point. Those are just the ones that I've been to personally. The original one in Greensboro is walk up only.
Only walk, not even drive through.
Not even drive through. Oh, no, it's drive through and walk up, but no seating.
Huh. Yeah, that's another one. Like Cookout, I'd never heard about that. Bojangles, I'd never heard about that. Everything's up by me is Rallies. And
Rallies, yeah.
Rallies.
Checkers.
Yeah, which is basically Checkers.
Do you
Yeah.
like
White
Rallies?
Castles.
Oh, God, yeah. White Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a 30 case. Kill it. Kill a 30 case.
30.
By myself. Just run through it. Just
There
like
was a time I could do that.
just like their chicken McNuggets.
You
So-
don't even know. They're just
I'm just gone.
they're gone. And you're
Just
like,
yeah, and then you start counting boxes, and you're like, wait a second, hold on, where'd they all go? Damn, I ate them all.
I tipped the scale Monday.
Yeah,
214.2.
214. I cannot understand how you are 6 foot
4.
6'4", 215, and you do not look that at all. At all.
I just cut down. It's been interesting. I can't wait to go full keto.
You need to, dude. It's the way to go. Brittany is down 25 pounds since New Year's. But obviously she was watching her calories too, which is the main part. It doesn't
Right.
matter. You could eat T-bone steak every meal, or you could eat popcorn every meal.
Right.
It's all calories. So calories in, calories out. But there's still specific ways, just like turning that helix on that cup car, that make a difference here or there.
Yeah.
So
Muscle retention and things like that.
kind of, sort of, yeah, because you're
Well,
getting
it really just comes down to you're switching your energy supply from carbohydrates to fats.
yeah, which you don't need carbohydrates. There's what the Inuit
Caveman did not have
yeah.
sweet potatoes.
No, they didn't have
and
carbs.
Snickers.
It was full meat, and now
Which
there's
I
like
have
that
to say,
fad. There's now that fad to do just meat,
Oh,
which is
the
actually
zero carb.
which is actually catching like
Steam to it.
yeah,
That's the one I want to do.
just meat.
Like I want to like wrap ribeyes in bacon, and then use chicken breast as the bread. That's my absolute fantasy.
that sounds amazing.
I'm telling you, right? Like it's fantastic. Like everyone's like, "Oh, what would you like to have with the side of your steak?" Oh, another one.
Yeah,
Oh, you want a potato? No, I would like maybe a fillet to go with my ribeye. It's all about diversity.
yeah. It's the whole diet thing. It's just and then just trying to eat on the road like that. Like you get done with the race at whatever time at night, like, and all of our planes get like catering, so you just got what you got.
I always had a great habit of being one of the first people on the plane.
You're a PR person.
Correct.
You should
hold,
be.
hold on a second. I'm
And-
about to chew David's ass when it comes to PR people. So as soon as the flagman pulls the checkered flag out of its holder,
Son, I've been out of there with 30 or 40 to go before. Sometimes I would just see how quickly I could get out of the racetrack.
as soon as that official up in the flag stand thinks like, should I put it in my hand yet? Like, or should I keep this caution flag? Like when he's thinking about grabbing that checkered flag, pchoom, they're gone.
So I would like to rebuke that statement. I am an account manager. The PR people have to go meet people down on the racetrack.
Sometimes they do.
The minute my sponsors say I'm leaving, hey, bust the seam open. I'm going to catch the door right as you do.
And then sure enough, the best seats on the plane are always taken up by the PR people.
You know, my saving grace there is I'm a tall individual.
Yes.
So I do
Yeah,
get the
I
exit
will
row
give you
and
that.
Somebody won't hate me for it.
I will give you that. But usually we save the good seats for the upper management and drivers
I don't give a fuck about that.
on the deal. But yeah, the other thing is the tall guys, because there's some fuelers out there that are pretty damn big boys, and those planes aren't getting any bigger.
No.
So, I mean, it's like, I get it, big man.
Most time it was a jackman or a
Fueler,
that I would sit beside.
Big old dudes.
Like I'm 5'6" and I'm uncomfortable on those planes.
Yeah, they try to get as many people on there, but I will say that the system that we're using this year is better than the system that we were using last year. All the teams charter planes together, so everyone flies together. Literally all the teams fly, but it kind of switches. Sometimes you're on different flights with different people, like however they make it work. They fit it out to where all the planes are usually not quite full. There's just a couple here or there. We actually were able to, the Phoenix flight back. There was a plane that broke down. So imagine 6 or 7 planes that look identical, and this has all the teams on it, and one of them breaks down, and they were able to distribute everyone that was on that plane onto other planes to get everybody home.
Wow.
So, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure, because as she went by, she's like, we're going to get everybody home.
Well, we're taking a lot less people this year.
Yeah.
That's another key thing.
Yeah, there is that. You are taking a lot less people, not just getting away with the pit crew guys, but just limiting hard cards altogether.
Right.
There's a lot less people. When you walk up and down pit road now, it's like I'm 5 races in, and I'm like, hey, I still haven't seen they're not here. Yeah, they're not here no more. So
I wish the planes were different colors. I don't know. We fly in Victory.
Yeah.
And they're white with a blue stripe.
Mm-hmm.
And
tail numbers, baby.
Yes, you get...
Go to tail number 49, and you look at... I think they got 11 planes now.
Yeah, they bought more.
And, like, when we...
That's insane.
When we left Vegas, like, they're like, oh, go to tail number 49. And you just look, and you're like...
I flew out on 49.
Yeah, you're like, where's 49 at?
If you look on the front of the plane, right where the front landing gear is, how that opens up and is sticking out, the numbers on that too.
Oh, okay.
On the front of the plane. So you don't have to look at the tail, you just look at the front of the plane. That's on
if they were like, go to plane red, you see red and you just...
yeah. It's a...
But the other
like
thing
champion
is
planes.
I don't bring my bag back on the plane. I leave it on the truck.
Your roller bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they're like, oh, go to plane 49, like that's the last thing I want to look at, because I'm not taking my bag to the back of the plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact, I think Biffle owns Victory.
Yeah. Well, he's part of the ownership group.
Yeah.
GMS owns majority of Victory.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So Victory is in with Allegiant?
Yes.
That's a fun fact. Yeah, because it used to be Miami Air was the ones that had the contract, and they flew a lot, but that
shit was fucking
it was
terrible.
Yeah, but Miami Air was the big planes. That was the big 3x3, the big planes, and they could only land into Concord. We usually fly out of Statesville, but the big planes would fly out of Charlotte for the West Coast flights, because they had to take off with more fuel.
See, when I flew Miami Air, we flew out of Charlotte, the backside.
Yeah, in Wilson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is where Roush used to fly out of.
06 and 07. We flew out of there.
Yeah, even back in the day, back when Roush had, 5-6 Cup cars, they had two full planes. They had 2 big 737s or whatever, but just like a 3x3 plane. They had 2 of them.
Yeah.
One was an old Miami Heat plane. It still had the Miami Heat logo on the inside of them, and there was a lot more first class, and all the first. You loaded that plane in the back, and the first class was in the back, but they had like a lot more first class seatings. All the seats were bigger and spaced out more, obviously, because you're shuttling basketball.
basketball
Yeah,
players.
giant basketball players. So, the deal last year was Miami Air champion. Usually, champion was out of Statesville, and then Victory slowly started to creep onto the scene. They keep getting more and more planes out of Statesville.
I'd be interested to find out what happened with Champion.
What happened to Champion?
Yeah. Because we all used to, like, tons of people used to fly Champion, and then everybody moved over to Victory.
I don't know. I know that, but they are working together still. No, they're not? I thought they were working together.
No, they did the first year. This is 18. 16, they worked together.
Yeah.
And then 17, Victory went on their own.
But I mean, they're all right there.
Yeah. They're within a quarter mile of each other.
Yeah, it's all basically the same building.
So does anybody fly Champion anymore?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple that still fly. I know that they sold a couple of their planes. They
Those
probably
were
just
old
sold them.
DEI planes.
Yeah,
'cause
it was Champions, the DEI deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally one of the plane's tail numbers is 3.
Yeah. 1, 3, and 500.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was a big deal. And fun fact, Senior, when he was still alive, he wanted to land his personal plane on the drag strip. Because his house is right over there by it.
Yeah.
So he wanted to land right on the drag strip, and apparently they wouldn't let him do it. Not to know that he ever did, because he might have said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you put this thing down." But
Dale Earnhardt, bitch, enjoy yourself.
yeah, but that's what he tried to do. He tried to land his personal plane on the drag strip at Marshall.
They still own a lot of property up by the drag strip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that with all those cows and stuff is all
Yeah,
still
that's all. What's the daughter's name?
Kelly.
No, the young daughter.
Oh yeah, what is her name? Yikes.
It'll come to me in a minute, but that's all her Texas Longhorns.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally like right down the road from here.
Yeah.
You keep going down this road,
Yeah,
and then that's where that goes.
they own. Yeah, they still own a ton of farmland.
Yeah, because you always seen all those old Senior like documentaries and stuff. He would always be out there fishing in his ponds and talking about his cows and buffalo and stuff. That's all like great.
Yeah, he had on his property. He had he went and he stocked 400 deer on his at one time. He went all over the country and got the best of the best deer, whatnot, and they used to be on his property. That's why it's all high fenced all the way around his property.
Got it.
Huh. Wow.
Like there's supposedly some amazing deer back there.
I can imagine. Yeah, but you can't get caught dead back there.
No,
Yikes.
they you can go on Google Map and see where he's buried at.
Really?
Yeah, his tomb in the yard.
Huh. That's crazy.
I've never done that before. I've never looked.
We did it when we worked there, and like we Google mapped. Like our body hanger told us about it, so we Google mapped it
Google Earth.
or Google Earth.
Oh, we're doing it.
We're doing it right now. We're
And,
doing it real time.
People have dropped in. There's security cameras everywhere. It's fenced in now. It originally wasn't fenced in, but they had people drop in hot air balloons onto the
Really?
property. And where he's buried at was where he cleared land to build a new house.
Wow. That's pretty deep.
Yikes.
Like the most amazing thing, like you talked about old stories earlier.
Mhm.
Like when we did the Bush deal is when Tony Sr. was Menard's crew chief at the time, and they kind of moved him out, and I don't even remember who they brought in at the time, and like he come over. We did the test team car out of our shop too for the Cup guys. That's when they went to the COT.
Mm-hmm.
And he come over I mean, he'd spend 4 or 5 hours telling stories, just old stories, and that's one of the great things about running into people that's worked in racing forever. They tell you stories that happened 20 years ago, and you're like, man, I can't believe, like, you know, and like nowadays, you're not gonna have those stories you did back in the day.
Is this it right here?
Yeah.
So we got it pulled up on Google Maps right now. Looking at it.
Yes. That all originally wasn't there when they put the tune there. Because that's a fence, and then, like, so you can zoom out and you'll see a hunting stand off to the sides. There's a couple of them. But that's all, like, security shacks and surveillance cameras.
Wow.
Let me see it.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Like, now, I'm sure people have figured it out, but, like, that's where it's at.
And this was the space that was cleared out
For him to build a new house. My buddy, his neighbor, they live, go down here to the blinking light, and he was first house on the left. He's still the carpenter for DEI. He still goes there every day and builds stuff for random projects.
Yeah, that place is still up and going.
Yeah.
Like there's still stuff going on in there. Like there's a whole like parts department that's going on in there because I've had to go over there and get parts, and
they distribute all the GM body panels.
Yeah.
Out of there. They have a complete machine shop. They build almost every piece that goes on a race car. They build those helixes they have hundreds of those sway bars.
Really?
Yeah, like they used to build a lot of gears and transmissions. They still build transmissions and gears, but they used to lease them, but they don't do that anymore. But they build a lot of super late model transmissions.
And obviously the showrooms now, like the museum and all that stuff is also nice.
The showroom is the original Pennzoil shop.
Really?
With that tile.
Yeah.
And that's why in the middle, there's a surface plate in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the original where the Pennzoil car was going to race out of. And the trailer used to back all the way inside, down the hallway. And when you look through the glass, that's where the trailer, like the far back wall is where the trailer would be. And they would have to hook up an airline because they couldn't start the truck in the shop. They had to hook an airline up to release the brakes and pull it out with a forklift.
Really?
Yeah. And then when they got outside, they fired it up. And when they got into the truck bay, they would fire it up and drive it out.
So, wow.
They broke a couple tiles. And then Dale was like, no, this isn't the shop anymore. And they moved on the backside of the wall.
Can't crack my tiles, buddy.
Yeah. I heard that there was like a thing like you couldn't, like you had to ask to like hang a poster. There was like that place was like super nice.
There was a restaurant upstairs, full blown 5-star restaurant upstairs.
Like to the public?
No, to the employees.
Holy shit!
It was they had a buffet, like a buffet food,
mm-hmm.
and then they had a weekly menu. There was 5 or 6 items on the weekly menu you could order off of. And it was $5 per person to go up there and eat. You had, when you got hired there, you got a card with your number on it. And you'd walk up and be like, my number was 678. And you walk up and 678, she'd write it down. And you'd, beginning of the week, you give her $20, You eat all week for $20. If you brought a guest, it was $7 for them. But that was salad, the buffet, whatever. I mean, when I mean food, like it was
legit.
It was legit. Like, probably. I mean, you can't go nowhere in Mooresville and get food that was better than that.
Woo!
And
The heyday.
you had
No shit.
you had all your Coke products, Sprite, Diet Coke, Coke,
Well, yeah.
water,
Obviously, that probably came all free.
and then they had a 3x10 dessert table. And it changed every day.
Gosh, that's wow.
And if you like, I forget if it was 2:30 or 3:30. I think it was 3:30 because we got off at 4:30. You could place
So you'd work what from
7:30 to 4:30.
7:30 to 4:30? Ain't bad.
You could place a to-go order if you wanted a to-go order home for dinner. Like, they cook pizzas and stuff like that. And I don't know how much. I'm sure that was $5 or $10, but
It's like all those old factories and mills that you used to go to. Like they used to have like that type of stuff. They'd have like a bowling alley, like a entertainment thing.
yeah. But he built the restaurant because when he was designing the place, the designer somehow they got talking about it, and he's like, "No, that's what I want. I want a restaurant up there. Like, I want to take my people and take new people up there and look at the overlook the showroom, and you go up there and eat."
I mean, that's as a PR person,
That's incredible.
bringing in a sponsor.
What can you not do with that? That's why you had Napa and Pennzoil and Budweiser.
Every chair was engraved. Every chair was a wood chair engraved with the DI logo on the back of it.
I mean, that place is probably raking in way over 120 million a year.
It's still bringing in a shit ton of money with all his merchandise that he's still selling, and then all the stuff they still got going on
So
there.
what's the house across the street with like the big archway, like in front of it? It's like not attached to the front of the house.
So if you're standing at the front door, the one I believe to the left that was Junior's house.
Yeah.
His original house.
Yes.
And the one that's set way back off the road, I don't know about.
Because there's like I'm trying to get the angle right.
Yeah, still creeping on the map over here.
I mean, it's just very interesting now that you see that. Like you can see the farmland he was talking about. You see the burial plot. You see where his house was, like in the woods, nestled up with the lakefront view. Like
the building that is just like if you're going south on 3, the last building at DEI that was called the Chicken Coop, and that was where Menard's Cup Car was run out of.
I think Timmy mentioned the chicken coop before.
yeah,
Did he not? Pretty not. Yeah. And then now what was how did the DEI building that's here in Mooresville, the one that's in like downtown,
That was
DEI South or DEI East or whatever they call it?
Well, I don't know what they ever really called it.
It's whatever direction it is, but was what they call it.
That was when, so the 8 and the 1, like if you're standing at the front of DEI, the shop to the left is where the 8 and the 1 Cup Car was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paul was down quarter mile down the street. So when they bought Gin out, that building is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yes.
amazing building, and they were taking on another Cup Car. They were taking on the 01 Cup Car, so that would put them at 4 Cup Cars, and Highway 3 didn't have that room to have 4 Cup Cars.
Got it.
So they moved to the Gin building, which is we did all the we did a lot of moving cars over there, moving equipment. But that is a race shop it's
And it's still up and running. There's still stuff going on in and out of there. If there's like a pull down in there or something, or like a shaker rig.
Well, the 7-post is still in there. I don't know how much they use that anymore.
Because I know like a lot of the truck teams and bush cars used to use it.
They used to use it. I think the 7-post is kind of shut down. I don't know that they use it very much.
Got it.
But in the back of it is where that guy's got. He builds all the concert stages. That's what goes on in the back side of it now.
The JHE or
no, he builds like legit concert stages.
Oh,
like he has a patent for his stages that is the fastest assembly and the fastest disassembly of the stages.
You can patent something like that?
Yeah, like he's done
the design.
He's built a couple Super Bowl halftime stages.
Holy shit!
He did a few years ago. He did all Eric Church's stages. Like they could roll in, they put them out when they did that countrywide. It was a really random tour. Like they just kind of went to like. I know they plan it all, but to me, they went to random cities and had concerts, and it was all outdoors. And they would just roll up with the tractor trailers, fold the stages out, have the concert, fold them all back up, and roll out of town.
Little Mooresville, doing big things.
Yeah, well, I knew that that there was talks of that DEI building was getting ready to get bought out by Turner.
Back in the day, yeah,
before
tried,
he passed away.
Yeah, they tried to buy it several times.
They were going to try to move in there, which is good. Like you don't ever want to see, because like there's really nice race shops that are dotted all over Mooresville here, and it's kind of sad that they're all getting consolidated into bigger teams and fewer teams. But there's some really nice race shops around here, and to see that they're still at least doing something with that building, is a plus. But to see. Like, do you ever, in your wildest dreams, ever see DEI ever coming back?
No.
Never?
It's gone.
Not even if Dale was to try to, Dale Jr. was to try to resurrect it?
If he's not tried yet, I don't think he's ever gonna.
Because there's talks about juniors trying to run cup cars. So, here in the next year or two, we'll see how it works. I mean, if they keep bringing cars that aren't filling fields, then you're like that makes it easier,
right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're guaranteed a spot, like, hey, look, we're going racing, and
some incentive
we are going racing because we're in. Yeah, so that's an easy sell to a new sponsor or trying to get sponsors to come over. Like even if like, hey, there's something we can build on here because we're in.
Yeah.
Well, he's now got stuff outside of racing that he can use to leverage sponsorship, like Roger Penske does. And
yeah, well, now he has the time. He can do all the... He's got
TV deals that he can guarantee you're going to get this coverage. If you partner with me on my race team, you're also going to get this on the TV show. It's all about building that value.
Yeah.
How much can you deliver for the dollar?
Yeah. And while the race is going on, he's literally standing there next to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Telling them, hey, like, this is what we got going on. He's not stuck in the car. You know what I mean?
The easiest way to do it is to cut a deal with, if you sponsor a car, you need to cut a deal with the networks too. Because that's guaranteed coverage.
You can do that?
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking like SEC, ESPN type shit?
So I'm saying, like, let's just say Budweiser has a car, and then you partner with Fox and NBC, you're going to get guaranteed coverage within those broadcasts.
Like as far as running your commercials during the race?
Well, not just that. It's like that's part of your commercial deal is the car gets coverage during the race.
Let's see where he is at this point in time.
Correct. And then all of a sudden, your race team reports come back and, this is how much we delivered you. Smithfield spent so much money with NBC, they got 2 documercials built.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you think Eric Almirola always had TV coverage with RPM, even if he wasn't running well.
Yeah, because you could always see like the one of the cameras was Smithfield camera.
Oh man, like they would,
and then
out.
like almost like the blimp was Smithfield. I think it was. So they dabbled into all that other stuff.
There's tricks to the trade. If your sponsor's like, well, how do we do this? Well, budget this, give this to NBC, give this to Fox, and you're going to come out way ahead.
That's
way ahead. I mean, that's on top of your paid social media. That's on top of your paid, just marketing campaigns, your in-market stuff, your other activations that you're doing, giveaways.
Yeah, did you see that 10 races this year, and then the chase races are going to be on Twitter? With the helmet cams?
Yeah.
The helmet cam footage is going to be on Twitter? About fucking time.
That's about 7 years behind.
Yeah, about time. Come on, let's go.
NFL's been doing that for a long time now.
UFC is about to go exclusively to digital streaming stuff. They're not going to be on cable anymore. It's going to be you either have pay-per-view or Fight Pass. Yeah. That's it. You ain't watch it. They are controlling all their stuff. And
well, that's just that's the easiest way for them to increase their margins for pay-per-view, because now you no longer have to pay the cable networks.
Mm-hmm. And that their fan base is very tech oriented.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of the UFC fans listen to podcasts. You know, I'm a UFC fan. I listen to UFC podcasts. I have Fight Pass. You know, you can get the UFCs on Amazon Prime now if you wanted to, but that's like where that needs to go. We need to start getting to where you're almost buying the race on Amazon, you know, $4, $3, $5, however much, you know, you have it, because everybody's cutting cords. So you have to, it's going that way. So you have to.
One of the major things that happened with NASCAR is when they were on Ted Turner's networks and they left, Ted Turner still had all the digital rights and the internet rights, and he didn't do anything with it.
That's right. We talked about that.
So there was no NASCAR on any internet. There was no apps. There was no anything, because Turner owned all those rights, because at the time nobody really knew what to do with it, except NBA figured it out, NFL figured it out, MLB figured it out, and all of a sudden NASCAR was 4 years behind before their first thing got even touched online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that even for experience, you can pitch it both ways. You can pitch your online social media stuff at the track. Like, hey, you can watch your driver's helmet cam while you're sitting there.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely pitch that, and as long as you can speed up to where it's not lagged that much, as long as you can keep it within like a corner, you're fine. And that's the way that you build the experience. And then on top of that, they got to get more drama into it. What drives the UFC is the Ronda Rouseys, is the Conor McGregors, is the Brock Lesnar's. So we need Kevin Harvick pounding on his hood, giving thumbs up, what now, and calling everybody out. He called everybody out last weekend.
Yeah.
He called out the sanctioning body. He called out the fans. He called out the track. He called out the competitors.
He called out
Reddit. He called out everybody last week. So, like, that's what you need. You need that discussion. You need people talking about that. It's like, yeah, we were talking about a stupid window, but at the end of the day, we were talking about it, and it is dividing everybody into, was it cheating? Did something break? And they're just kicking everybody's ass, and these haters are making excuses.
I mean, we just forgot where we came from. Like, what made this sport big? It was blue-collar people, because blue-collar people could relate to it, and this is what they wanted to spend their time and money on.
Yeah, I mean, look at how exciting Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead was when Hamlin crashed Chase Elliott last year. You have Hamlin run him over, so then even Texas and their PR type stuff.
Eddie Gossett, insane.
Started showing Chase Elliott as the people's champ, and all that stuff. And everyone was watching, waiting. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And even the TV coverage, when they were side by side out on the racetrack, they were like glued to him. Like, oh, he just passed the car. Oh, now they're 4th and 5th. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? That's type of stuff. Like, that's the type of stuff that we need.
You have to have drama.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be something to keep fans interested in. Like, Phoenix was sold out the Monday morning after Martinsville. Like, I don't know what their sales were before that, but the Monday morning it was sold out.
Because of
everybody wanted to go and see what was going to happen before they went to Homestead.
Just think about the old Gordon Earnhardt rivalries. That fueled the whole latter half of the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fans, like...
Dale Labonte.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Gordon, I think, is the closest thing that we have to, like, a Mayweather. You know, like, people don't buy Mayweather fights to watch Mayweather fight. They buy Mayweather fights to watch Mayweather lose. He's just never lost.
Right.
So everyone tuned in to see who's going to beat Jeff Gordon, who's going to beat Jimmy Johnson, who's going to beat Martin Truex. Like, that's why these guys are tuning in. Like, who's going to get him this week? Is anybody going to get him this week? That's what drives people.
Well, that's the great thing about Kyle Busch is people love to hate him.
Yeah,
so when he gets past, because
he's at
energy.
Yeah,
you know, like Kevin Harvick goes out here and says, "Fuck everybody." How am I going to toast y'all next week? And what are you going to complain about?
Yeah, those guys.
Hamlin's very vocal.
Yeah, those guys they're their own X factor. And when you see someone that polarizing, like say that Kyle blows an engine or pops a tire or hits the wall or whatever, and comes down pit road solo, you see the crowd just go nuts. You know, they're either cheering or they're like, you know, like, oh, like,
think about when Kenseth took out Logano, and then you had Jeff Gordon go and win the race.
The fans were louder than the cars at Martinsville.
Yeah.
When he wrecked that, they were under green, and the fans went absolutely batshit crazy.
Yes.
Everybody did. And it was getting goosebumps talking about that happening. And that's the type of stuff that we need to drive this. We have the right sponsor for all this to happen because they love that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we not taking advantage of it?
So everything's all in line. So it's almost like you need to have that boys have at it conversation again. And just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
When they took that away, when it was not a lot, like, against, I think is when the biggest impact took in racing.
Yeah, you want to bore people, sterilize it.
You abandoned people. You abandoned everything that funded the sport. It was the people who were out there buying the stuff who was supporting NASCAR, and all of a sudden, in my opinion, and I'll say this to anybody, Sprint was in this sport for 5 years too long. I get the corporatization and the attraction and what they try to do, but they were here 5 years too long. And that's as somebody who benefited directly from employment because Sprint was in the series. So
yeah, but even their like UFC's going through that right now with being in charge of WME. Like, they have this big nest egg that they spent $4 billion to buy it. So now they're freaking out, and all these stars are retiring, just like NASCAR. All the fans are, all the big stars are retiring, and then you have all these other guys getting in trouble. So they're thinking, "Oh God, what do we do?" And their product isn't kind of a little lackluster. But there's a perfect opportunity with the youth drivers that we have coming in, with the sponsor. If we start getting to some of these short tracks, and things start getting a little dicey. I mean, Harvick's the only thing that's driving it right now.
Right.
Obviously, because he's led, 2/3 of the laps and won 3 of the 4 races. So him doing, like, his emotion, like, yeah, like, me personally, I don't agree with what he did. But at the end of the day, that's polarizing. That drives.
We go to California next, then we're back at Martinsville.
Yeah, so we go to another speedway track. Is the window going to be bowed in again? Probably not. How good's he going to run?
We'll see.
We'll see how motivated.
Somebody's got to beat him.
Yeah, we'll see how motivated he really is.
I'm gonna say he's set on kill for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Harvick could streak 7 in a row if he really wanted to.
He's running the West race tomorrow night.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Is
had
that at Bakersfield?
Kern County.
Yeah, that's right.
And he got very heated about Phoenix not allowing the K&N cars to go there anymore. Which that was when he said that, I was like, oh shit, that's right, they don't go there anymore, because they would always. You'd run the truck race or the Xfinity race, and they were always the night race after that, because as we were taking off from Goodyear, you'd look down and you'd see that they were racing that race.
Well, the last couple of years they did that. We used to race out there on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Thursday night, because it would be Friday night would be the nationwide race. And, well, Thursday night was a truck race in the fall.
Yeah.
Was a truck race, the K&N race. Friday was the nationwide race. Saturday was the cup race. And they took that away from out there. Which, like, he was heated about it, but they don't do something, that's their Daytona out west.
Yeah, it's that, and you're getting you're undercutting yourself. You're not getting a farm system into the thing, because if we want longevity into this, we need that rollover, and then all these hot new stars that come in, and all this hype around all these hot new stars. We need that, and we need, not only do we need that, but we need them to do good.
That's part of the appeal of college football.
Yeah.
You get to see. I saw Andrew Luck play in Winston-Salem when he was at Stanford.
Really?
Yeah.
They played Wake?
Played Wake.
Oh, that's cool.
That's part of the appeal.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of good teams out west that have raced out west for years. There's a lot of good kids out west. They don't race places where they get seen.
Yeah.
Like on the East Series, like they race Watkins Glen, they race New Hampshire, Dover.
The Dover race was crazy.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, and like they need to race. They
race at Daytona on the backstretch, right?
They did for 2 years.
Yeah, it was the battle at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
That was fantastic.
That was good.
Yeah.
Spencer got crashed right there at the end.
Yeah.
A couple times. 3 times.
That was miserable to go and work that race. Because you had to push the car a mile. Legit a mile. Then you had to walk back, get the toolbox and all your stuff, and drag that 3/4 of a mile.
Mm.
All like...
Burn up half a day pushing shit.
Well, the problem was they run the modified race and then they run our race. So the modified guys are going back to their garage. And we're coming. Like, it wasn't no fun. No, I mean, just 9 o'clock at night and you're dragging a 4,000-pound toolbox.
Well, hell, loading in and out of Martinsville with the truck series is pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. But that going in, like they move the trucks in fast now. So, like, it's not that bad, but...
Because they condensed the cup schedule down to 2 days to be more accommodating to the truck guys.
Which is amazing. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, practicing without your truck, or your trailer, I should say, within eyesight...
Sketch.
Is sketchy.
Well, yeah, because I know Martinsville was like that. IRP used to be like that, but they would pull in the haulers and you'd dump everything out, and then the hauler would pull away, and heaven forbid you forgot to take anything off that thing, because you're in for a walk.
Yeah.
And you can't have, it's not like NHRA where you can have the mopeds and the 4-wheelers and stuff like that. Like, you don't get that. Like, shit, I forgot that spring. Be right back. And you take off walking. You go get it.
And, like, from the racetrack to the truck is a hill. Like, it's a long hill.
Mm-hmm. Mansfield, I've brought that one up before. That hill going into Mansfield, which I found out when we had Matt Weber on the podcast. That was the stage for the dirt cars, because they would start them as they were going down that hill. That's why the hill was super steep. And there's people that's like lost feet. There was one driver for red horse. AJ, what was his last name? AJ something, but he was a driver. Went there for the test, and they were pulling the pit box out, or it was a test, so it was the toolbox. They were pulling the toolbox out, and it come loose, and it run over his foot. And the space in between.
Oh gosh, there's none.
The space in between the fender well and the wheel on those toolboxes, his foot went through there. So basically what they ended up having to fit him with was a machine or a robot on the front of his leg to, whenever he takes a step, it picks up his foot.
Huh.
Because you know how you step? If your foot just drags, if you don't have this motion to where you can pull your toes back towards your knee, that's what that machine does for him. So he can walk now.
That's pretty bad.
I was at Pitt when he was going through the physical therapy for it, and he had a big scar around the top of his foot.
His name's Chris. He lives back in California now. Oh, wait, we tested there. And we couldn't have the trucks in the infield when we tested. So we were dragging toolbox out. We had 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old engineer and this kid Chris on the back of a gator, holding on.
Holding the handle,
holding the toolbox. And we'd done multiple items, and it was always, you don't let go. Like, you scream before you let go. And the engineer kid let go. Chris, he weighed 135 pounds. It ripped him off the back of the gator. He hit the front of the toolbox and wrapped his leg around the tire. So I was on a separate gator going up the hill. Like, they're pulling a toolbox, so I go, and I didn't hear the gator, so I turned and looked, and it was stopped. I'm like, what are these idiots doing? What fell off the toolbox? Well, when I turned around and got back, Chris had stood up, because a general, he stood up, and his leg, when he went to go step, wasn't there. It fell.
Oh, God.
They cut it off?
No, it was
just
broke
mangled?
at a 90. Like, mid leg.
Oh.
As I look, and you can see the ambulance going down the main road.
The ambulance was checking out, leaving.
So I rode the gator to the first person I seen and told him he needed to call 911. So they took him to the hospital in Mansfield. They wanted to airlift him to Cincinnati, Cleveland, one of those sea cities up there, whatever, up there. They wanted to airlift him there. Well, we were on the private jet, and we were like, they finally talked the doctors into drugging him up. And the ambulance met him at Statesville Airport and
how'd he get on the plane? Like, you're not supposed to fly. Like, how did that happen?
They helped him on the plane.
Yeah, but don't you get like blood clots when they pressurize the plane and stuff? Like,
I don't know.
Not a doctor, but
I'm not a doctor. But he ended up. He was. It was bad. Like, he got a staph infection. Like, it was bad. Like, he was in the hospital for months, and his leg. That was 2008, and his leg he's permanently messed up. He still walks with a limp.
But he ended up keeping it.
Yeah. He spent several weeks in the hospital.
Yikes. Yeah, I knew that place has claimed a couple people. I know just the foot of I think his name was AJ.
When we went back to the race, we had to put all of our toolboxes and everything in our tag-along trailer and drive that to Ohio. And that was in the infield. And then after the race, all 3 teams had to put all their stuff in the tag-along trailer and drove ours out
4.
and loaded them.
Whew.
Rest in peace to my man's leg.
Dude,
Fuck. Like, how do you see that?
I will never forget it in my life.
There's no way you could.
Like, because they took him straight from Statesville to Presbyterian in Charlotte.
God, could you imagine flying on a plane like, bro, pilot, step on it.
There's not enough drugs you could give
Step
me.
on it. Hit the afterburner.
Dude, the greatest part is
get us home.
like, so he's all drugged up, and like you got to go over these rough railroad tracks right by the airport. And I wasn't in the truck, but 2 of my good buddies were, and he's like, "Man, easy over the bumps, man." That's like he said it like 3, like every time they hit a big Ohio, the roads are
Shit.
yeah. And he'd be like, "Easy over the bumps, man."
My shit's hanging on by threads.
Oh, God. And then, you fly from Mansfield to Statesville. So you're saying at least an hour flight if they're not, on the wood.
Oh,
And then you're driving from Statesville Airport to Presby, which is at X23.
No, Charlotte.
Oh,
Downtown Charlotte.
Methodist? Or
No,
what?
the
What?
Presbyterian.
So
that
oh
Presbyterian. Okay.
God! I mean, that's a solid hour.
Gosh. My man.
Yeah. But I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but I seen him a couple of years ago at Sonoma, but one of the most talented fabricators at 22, 23 years old that I've ever met. Like, I've met a lot of talented fabricators, but they're much older.
Mhm.
He moved out here, and that was like...
He just got it.
He just got it. Like,
Would he want to do this? Would he want to come on the show?
he lives in California.
Oh, shit.
I hope he's driving a Lamborghini out there.
He probably got paid good.
I would hope so. I mean, your shit's mangled because of a stupid design.
Yeah, it wasn't a good situation for anybody to be in. Like, I was in 3 closed door meetings about it. Like, you have to tell me what happened, and I'm like, I don't know what happened.
I was in the other gator.
just like I told
I turned around and I saw the other gator wasn't moving.
just like the first time I told you, like, because you know how everybody talks, and
Yeah, stories get
Yeah.
changed and added and tweaked around. And
we were goofing off on gators and this and that, and I'm like, no, we weren't. Like, we all wanted to get to the plane just as bad as anybody else because we've been in Mansfield, Ohio. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a dream destination. Like,
Unless you're a Shawshank fan.
I did go there when we went there for the race.
Yeah?
We drove up a day early to go to it.
Go to the jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. If,
That's pretty
Don't
badass.
don't eat lead paint.
yeah, for those of you who don't know,
That's why he's one of the most popular guys around.
the Shawshank
Dropping
Redemption.
jokes.
Yeah, the Shawshank Redemption is filmed in Mansfield, Ohio, for those that don't know. And the jail's still there, and you can go see it.
At Halloween they have an amazing tour at Halloween. I want to go one time just at the Halloween deal, but it's something to go. Like, I can't believe like what the jail was. Like, they had heat. They had a 40-foot long, it was 3 stories. They had a 40-foot long hole in the floor, and the heat, that's where the heat come out of. So the first floor was burning hot, and the people on the third floor had no heat.
Yikes.
Like, and we got to go see where the
Solitaire.
yeah,
confinement.
we seen where that was. Like, it's a room the size of this table right here. No window, just a door, shut. That's. But they did some films there, and there's supposed to be ghosts there. And the one, you go with a group of people, like tours from 1 to 3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But one lady legit had a picture, and there was something in the background of the picture.
Yikes.
Like, I don't know what it was, and it wasn't a marking on the wall. It was just like a film in the middle of the picture, like something was passing by it.
As big as this universe is, I could never discount the existence of ghosts or aliens. There's just no possible way to say no.
So we went from ghosts to aliens.
It's a creepy place, but in the middle of it, you can get married there. They have a reception hall, whole place where you can eat and...
Ironically, someone can...
So who the fuck gets married there? You're either from Mansville...
Some people can relate marriage to jail, I guess.
Like, but you get to, like, see a lot of cool area. Like, you get to see the whole new jail.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see where the gravesite out back and where people tried to
I've only
escape.
been to Mansfield once. My very first race was the last truck race that was left there.
Okay.
Donnie Leo won.
Yep. I remember that.
The quote,
He wrecked everybody to get there, right?
oops, I won Mansfield. No, David Starr, two things happened with David Starr. David Starr thought that the white flag was a checkered flag, and he thought Donnie Leo was a lap truck. And they ended up going by, it was David Starr, Donnie Leo, and I don't remember who the third one was.
Warner Day, was it? No.
They finished like 3 wide.
Yeah.
And it was because David had the lead and let out of it. He thought the race was over. And they're like, just one more lap, dude. Keep going. And then he was bitching about Donnie running him so hard, like in the laps going. And he's like, why? What is he doing? He's like, he's in second place, dude. Like, that's not a lap truck. That truck is in second place.
Oops.
Coming. But those two mistakes happened, and Donnie Lea ended up getting the win the last time they were
remember
in
He's
there.
a mod guy.
Mm-hmm. And it's since been turned into dirt. And
Yeah, it was shut down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Arca went there a little bit.
mm-hmm.
We went to... when we K&N raced, we had a good group of guys that would go on the road. And we found this little bar. It was 3 blocks over, 2 blocks down from our hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Little hole. I mean, the town's small. Like, it's a downtown Mooresville type town. And we found this bar. And this dude, he was having his own... He was the guitarist, acoustic, guy playing. And we turned it into full-blown karaoke. Well, Ohio is the first city or state I ever been to. At 2 o'clock, they come and take a beer. Like, you're drinking a beer, it's half full.
They take it from you?
Strikes 2, home dude comes and takes it.
What?
Yeah, that's never caused a fight.
Well, that didn't go over very well
With anyone.
with a group of guys.
Sorry, I'm foreshadowing.
With a group of guys from North Carolina that didn't know that little tidbit, like, didn't go over very well. And
We don't do that here.
I'm going to say it wasn't our first or second beers that we were on that night. And we walked into this diner. I'm telling it was the greatest place in America. A small little diner. Walked in 3 o'clock in the morning. And they were just happy to see us cook us food. Like, next morning, we all woke up. I'm like, how'd we get home? and like, the last thing I remember being at the diner and the lady cooking food for us. But it was nicest little area, you could have gone to.
Yeah, the only thing that I really remember about that place was the racetrack, the hill, and the jail that I never got to go to. I wish I was able to go to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll go back there. I'll get a chance to go back there. Probably not this year, but hopefully.
Tim
here in the future.
Richmond's from up that area.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's someone
The new
that...
Tim Richmond's from High Point, North Carolina.
Who's that?
Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney. Yeah, he always puts a G-rated Tim Richmond.
Yes.
Is one young
It's
Ryan
more
Blaney.
like a Cartoon Network.
Cartoon
Fair.
Cartoon Network. Hey, either way,
Paw Patrol or whatever that new
Paw Patrol,
Paw Patrol
version of Tim Richmond. But like, you know, I think that he has that. Blaney's got that outsider feel to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wish he would have kept the hair. I think that was.
I don't know who told him to cut his hair, but that's stupid.
Yeah, I was telling him, I'm like, dude, keeping the hair. That's the move. I get it. You're at the big team now, but come on, man. Like he could have been like that Misfits type following. You know, like everyone always has like the Misfit
Would
shirt.
you see like his fire suit and his helmet and stuff for this weekend? Like it looks straight out of like 1970.
Yeah,
It's fucking fantastic.
The
PPG car.
the hair,
Fire.
the hair,
yes, yeah.
the hair could have been one of those drama deals. Like kept people watching it just because they're like, I can't believe he's still got the hair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
hair
Actually,
and the stash.
Still
Like, I
still
seen
have the
him,
hair.
We went to that little bar across from JJ's Christmas Eve. Met a couple buddies there, and he come walking in, and I'm like, "Who in the? Oh, it's Ryan Blaney." And he drives a badass truck too, old Chevy pickup. But I'm like, the hair is like,
That was your thing.
yeah, like that was, you could have pulled that off for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he could have pulled that off, and he could have turned it into something like almost like a Boris Said type thing, to
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
get like the little wigs or whatever. So then, like the hardcore fans are gonna wear the hair during the race, and you know, have the Blaney hair.
I don't
And
think
still would have banged out 10s all day.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was trashy at all.
No.
And that's what people said, and I'm like, no, like that's, if you have hair like that, you should have hair like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
if you're capable, you should.
Yeah,
have
there
it
was
like
nothing unkept, nothing ratty. That shit was perfect. He fits it.
that. Yeah,
Like, it's not like me with that hair. It was him with that
look
hair.
like a roving dickhead.
Like it fit. And when he did that, I was like, oh no. Like you're riding all this momentum getting in. Like, keep the hair, homie.
Yeah.
Keep the hair. Ryan, if you're listening, bro,
grow back.
grow it back. You're fine. Roger will understand. Just say, hey man.
I'm 90% sure Roger would not understand.
No,
I'm pretty close to 100.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, hey man. Thanks for coming on.
thank you for having
We'll
me.
go ahead and lock this down. But I definitely appreciate you coming on. That DEI stuff, we could just do a podcast just asking questions about DEI.
Yeah.
Like that type of stuff. That's crazy. That's very interesting about the burial site and just how the inner workings of that place is.
Yeah, I ran the guard. You had a pass on your window,
Mm-hmm.
and I ran the guard shack one day because I was late for work. We had hand scanners. They gave you plus or minus 5 minutes on the hand scanner,
Uh-huh.
and I was like 20. And
Been
so
there.
I just rolled through the guard shack. Like, you're supposed to kind of slow down, wave to the guy, and keep going. And I don't know how he made it that fast across the property, but he was at my toolbox before I got there. Not happy.
So the gate guard was on your
Yeah.
ass, so he knew.
Yeah. You had assigned parking spots, so he knew exactly who I was.
Wow.
Well, see,
All right. So what happened?
He told me if I did it one more time, I had to park the furthest parking spot out front. He said, you run the guard check one more time, you'll be parking over here, out there.
Oh, so he was more mad about you not stopping and saying
Not
hi.
slowing down and waving. I just kind of rolled and waved, not like creeped and waved.
Yeah, you didn't check off to where he knew that it was
Yeah.
you.
A man was not playing around.
No.
He was set out to be the best guard shack guy.
But they were old ex state troopers and sheriffs. And,
Hey,
but they were.
of course they were. They were probably SEAL team guys. for all
They
we
were
did.
the nicest guys ever, but it was just. You could go on, just talking to them, you could go on days to talk.
So you'd have been fine if you would have slowed down a little bit. And
Yeah. Just like I did every other morning.
You didn't talk to me, motherfucker.
So then you had to sit in the guard shack?
No. He gave me a warning.
Okay.
And my next offense was I was to park the furthest parking
Got it.
spot. Like if you're rolling south on DEI, I was going to park in that very corner parking spot. And have to walk a quarter mile or eighth of a mile to my area.
Damn. Well, I know that usually if you're late at race shops, it's you only get like 2 or 3 excuses.
Your dog,
Yeah.
your kid.
Yeah, your kid. And then there's a couple other you can probably use your imagination and figure out what they are. But as long as you bring biscuits or some form of breakfast, like, donuts or whatever, as long as you come in with a bag of donuts, like on your way, like if you're like already going to be like 5-10 minutes late, if you just swing into Krispy Kreme on the way, grab a couple boxes, hey, I'm late, but I got donuts, and you lay those down, you're usually good. This is a,
Gotta know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Play to win.
Yeah.
yeah, this is a laid back business. People, they can appreciate the Bojangles of a morning or the Krispy Kremes.
As long as you don't abuse it, you can do it.
Yeah. It's not something that you're doing every day.
Just take the L.
Plus, that'd get expensive too. Buying donuts and biscuits for everybody.
Cannot guarantee all donuts arrive with me.
All right, homie. Definitely thanks for coming by. Do you got some social media you want to tag where people can find you, like a Twitter, Instagram handle?
Yeah. I don't know what. My Instagram is Bulldog6970.
6970, Bulldog 6970. And then what, you got a Twitter?
Yeah, but I don't use it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's too complicated for me.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm an Instagram guy. So at Bulldog 6970.
Yes.
All right, but hey, man, that was some pretty interesting stuff that we had on there. Definitely thank you for coming on.
Yep.
We tried to get Tyler Young on with you, just to see if both of you guys could come.
I'm gonna work on that here when I leave here.
Yeah, that would definitely be good because it's not that far away.
No.
So
We can actually put him in a wheelbarrow and take him home.
He is.
it's literally downhill the whole way.
Oh, well, there's no reason not to.
Not a lot of people know him, but he's probably one of the only kids that's ever come into this town with money and is still doing what he loves.
Yeah. He's
got
Many years later.
He's got a very successful operation just up the road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at the people who drive those trucks.
Yeah, he did something like he kind of stepped away from those trucks and like out of the driver's seat there, and started putting in. And he's still like it. I applaud him for still keeping it going without him in the seat, because there's a lot of guys that say, "Well, if I'm not going to drive it, no, ain't nobody going to drive it.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out." Yeah, but
he's got a great group of guys over there, and they're not Kyle Busch or ThorSport budget, but they run Austin Hills run top 10 all year.
Hey man, you can go a long way on some heart and some motivation.
Yeah,
and just want.
Yeah,
Austin
Hills is another good one. He's from Georgia.
Yeah,
I think he is from Georgia.
Hey man, the more the merrier.
Family. He's been family racing his whole life.
I can only imagine what it'd be like having you and Tyler here.
Well, let's do it.
I'm gonna work on it.
Let's do it. Tell it. You walk here.
We need to get Tina on here. That'd be a good one.
What?
Tina's Denny Hamlin's PR person.
Yeah, absolutely.
She also used to manage the Sprint
Sprint
Miss
Girls.
Sprint Cup program for Octagon, so she would be great.
Perfect. Perfect. Octagon. That's who you used to work for, right?
Yeah, that's how I met her.
Ah, okay. Yeah. See, it all worked. This is
Yeah, when I first started working for HRE, it kind of like
I got a message. Hey, does Dave Pruitt work with you? And I'm like, yeah. And then Tina's like, oh, that's my friend. Blah, blah, blah. So then a couple days later, I sent her a picture of his socks. You could have a whole podcast on his socks.
Yeah.
valid.
We should.
That's actually valid.
We should.
Which is funny because I hated tall socks. And
Go ahead. Carry on.
now I have multiple pairs of tall socks.
You're welcome.
Which is, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I never knew anybody that wore them, and then he did. And I'm like, well.
So why don't we have YPP socks yet?
Fuck, that's a great call.
I got Bulldog
Come on,
socks.
man. Hey, Carpies, make us some socks.
Of course, he's got bulldog socks.
Bulldog socks.
Bought them at the beach in January.
When we get YPP socks, I'll give you some.
Yeah.
Some Young and Pruitt podcast socks.
Yeah, we'll get you some swag for you. Head out the door.
Perfect.
But
Yeah, we got it. We got shirts and a hat for you.
Shirts, hats, stickers.
Awesome.
We're trying to get the online store going right now. That's a whole for people that are listening and screaming like, "What the fuck, man? Like, why can't we have it?" Well, we're working on
Working
it.
on that.
Trying.
That it's a hard deal. Like I'm trying to get T-shirts made for my business,
Yeah.
and I just can't afford them.
Well,
Yeah,
we have a great partner in Carpies. They did all the screen printing for our shirts and our hats. The shit's great. That's not the problem. The problem is trying to get our online store going.
yeah. No, like I'm just trying to get like you go to different places and they're
Carpies, dude.
I'm
gonna pitch them right now. Shameless plug.
Shameless
Carpies.
plug.
We got their card right there.
I'm gonna take one.
Yeah,
because-
Carpies Custom Screen Printing.
Yeah, we didn't get a
Carpies.com.
chance to get into Bulldog Customs.
No, we did not. Is
Bulldog fixed the Z06 in a time of need.
really?
Oh, yeah.
I have a passion to work on cars, mostly hot rods.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 mid-80s C10s in the driveway that I'm currently working on.
Oh.
That I'm leaving here and going back to work on.
Oddly enough, the suspension is not that different from what you work on from day to day.
No.
Truck arms, like that. There's a reason. There's a reason. Truck arms.
67 Chevy pickup has got a set of truck arms in it. 51 inches long.
No, I don't know where these disappeared to.
But, yeah, that's what I do at my house. Just trying to do something
That's cool.
to make money.
That's cool. Yeah. So what like you got? Okay, so you're wanting to come up with shirts and stuff. Like what's like pitch it. Like what do you got? Like
For
what do you want to do?
like I want to work on hot rods. Like,
Yeah?
I want to build hot rods. I have several hot rods myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 70 RT Challenger I built when I was 14. Started building when I was 14. Got 84 Monte Carlo. It's been family owned since 89. That is kind of built into a race car.
Mm-hmm.
But just, different things. Like, some people go home and, this is what they do. And, like, I go to work and I want to go home and work on hot rods. And work on other people's cars. And I do a lot of stuff for friends. Just because it's a lot of money to get stuff fixed on cars.
Yeah, it really is.
And-
It's not getting any cheaper.
No. Like, so I fixed his Corvette. Did a power steering rack. Yeah. It was easy, but also hard at the same time.
Mm-hmm. All right, homie. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Anybody we can get Tyler in here. We get Austin in here. We can do it. I got another mic over there. We can get all the mics going. We can have a hell of a good old time in here.
Oh yeah, we'll make it better. We'll get it. Not that it needs to get better, but just more.
Oh, hey, let's be honest. It can always get better. I mean, we're slowly working our way
We'll
in.
get Tina on here.
Yeah, we got.
We'll bring her and Zach on and bring you back and just have a...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're close.
Yeah.
So we ain't that far away. All right. Hope you guys appreciate it. Hope you guys liked the episode.
We appreciate you listening.
Yes, we appreciate you listening.
There we go.
Thanks, Dustin.
Onufrak.
Onufrak.
Oh God.
That's
call him
Onufrak.
Bulldog.
Yeah. Bulldog, aka Bulldog. Just call him Dustin. All right. For us, YPP, you can follow me at Jack Banzak on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me at Tall Guy Turbo on Twitter and Instagram.
You guys have fun, and we'll be in California this weekend. See ya.
See you next time.